Good morning. It appears to be functioning. Okay, Marcy's here. We can start. Congratulations, Marcy, on being first. And that's going to just upset at random. Because she, according to the chat, she was first. It looked like things weren't functioning for a second there. But most importantly, we need to watch Stephanie's fountain. I know she's not even here yet. But this is what's going on. Did you guys see that? Hold on. We're doing this again. Let me get that. That's not what we want. Hold on. We're going to change this. We're going to fix this, people. We can make this happen. Can we? Let's see what's going to happen here. Are we going to? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's do this again. Here we go. It's new. Oh, this is the best. Woo! Yeah, do it again. One more. Yes! This is the best time I've had all day. 7:03 here in the morning. It is 400 degrees here in the beautiful state of sunny California. Give me a second here. Let me get rid of this. Let me do this. Let me do this. There we go. That's what's going on in Rhode Island about, I don't know, 5 hours ago. My great-great-grandfather founded, but by great, I mean great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great. Roger Williams founded Rhode Island, and then they banished him. Because he's like, you know what? Slavery, it's bad. All these natives people, we shouldn't kill them. We should speak their language and learn to live with them. Oh, and also, like, religion and the state. I'm a Baptist minister, but I don't think that, like, the church should be deciding what happens for all the people, because there's a freedom of religion. This is before the United States was founded, by the way. So good on my ancestors. And then they all got banished and sort of fled to Canada. So it worked out okay. And now I'm back, and I might move back to Canada. Who knows? Might move to Philadelphia. So many options. So many places on the planet to move. You ever notice that about the planet? So many places to move. Stephanie, if you missed your fountain, we watched your fountain. It was a lot of fun. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. This is Facts and Friends today. I'm your host, Kevin Williams. Good morning, Deidre. Your KevinlyFather. We'll probably chat for about an hour today. I've got to do my foot. I'm using a bone stimulator on my foot. And her name's Babette. And we're just going to watch the news and kind of catch up on things. If you've got something to discuss, please do. It's a Tuesday morning. We're all pretty much just waiting around till Thursday evening. We'll be watching the January 6th hearing, the 8th hearing in a series of, so far, 8. It's going to go minute by minute of what Trump was doing during the more than 3 hours that he did nothing during the January 6th riots. January 6th riots changed this country. And by that, I mean I got demonetized on YouTube. I think that was the most significant thing. Ashley Babbitt got shot, but, I mean, honestly. But, hey, I'm going to crawl through this window to try and kill some Congress people. Okay. What do you think's going to happen? I'm starting the day off snarky. Be careful. When you buy things on Amazon, I needed a compact flash card reader. This is a compact flash card. See how huge that is compared to, and I know, remember when it was, oh my God, all the information fits on here. This is a compact flash, sometimes called a CF card. Now we've got the micro SDs. I can actually contrast and compare for you. I'm sure I've got one sitting around here somewhere. Well, you guys know. You guys have seen the micro SDs and the SD cards. They're much smaller than that. So I got this reader off of the Amazons. That one right there. And I've actually purchased this twice before. On the website, on the Amazon website, in the description, it says SD, MMC, micro SD, CF, which is compact flash, and then a whole bunch of different, and I was like, all of that? I don't remember those being on there, but, you know, it's probably on the other side. One side is your micro SD, the other side is all your compact. No. I get the thing last night. I cut it open without even looking at it this morning because, you know, it said compact flash. And then I open and I look at it and I was like, well, where does this doesn't. So just be careful. They're doing like the Craigslist thing. If you're ever on Craigslist looking for a car and you type in like Chevy Malibu, it'll bring up every car for sale on Craigslist because the dealers just take every car brand and every model and put it into the description and just flood it with words and rendering Craigslist practically useless. Does anybody remember Craigslist, Grandpa? Marcy says it's interesting that he was off the grid for 187 minutes and 187 is the penal code for murder. That is interesting, is it? Guys, is that interesting? It's interesting to you. It's numerologist Marcy. Morning, Stephanie. So I think I said good morning to you already, but we watched your fountain. It was delightful. It was lovely. It was delirious. And here's the thing. He wasn't off the grid, though. He did take time out to send that tweet that Mike Pence had no courage, which then many witnesses have said spurred the riot. So he made it worse. He poured the cooking grease into the fire at that point. Let's just check in with our fucks and friends and see what's going on here. Yeah, very few people Craigslist anymore, I think. Even looking for furniture and stuff. We got to look for some furniture. Hold on. You guys have no audio there. Give me a second. Let's try it again. I'm going to turn it way down. I will adjust it.
We're watching some weird building with a light on top of it. But no,
well, the people in Des Moines are glad.
That might be a lighthouse. You guys can hear it? Yeah? Okay, good. Let's go.
Glad you said that.
That was Barack Obama's view. Doesn't he have a Narragansett house? Doesn't he have a house?
Nantucket.
I think his is in Nantucket,
same thing.
yeah.
No, it's
both starts with an N.
Well, okay, yes.
I think he's in Nantucket.
Indeed.
Right.
He sounds like a Hamptons home.
Right.
And Narragansett.
And by the way, Steve Poitras.
He's in Nantucket, but he bought a house on the ocean shore, and the oceans are rising. Why would anyone buy a house on the ocean? Because the house is actually quite a bit back from the ocean, and it's elevated. It's not like the oceans in 2 years are going to rise 78 feet. It's not how climate change works. By the way, funny tweet. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. This is one of the funniest tweets I've seen in a while, and I will give you background on it. This is Yan Yizhu, or Wan Yizhu. Sorry, Wan or Yan. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. This is the tweet, though. I don't understand how the British ever conquered all those hot places. I'm going to like that, because that's hilarious. Right now, Britain is hotter than Britain has ever been in their recorded history. 100 degrees. Never happened in Britain before. Today's supposed to be even hotter. France, same thing. In Britain, the Royal Air Force had to pause operations at one of their air bases because the runway melted. It's just not set up. I feel bad. I feel terrible for the people of Britain because nobody there has air conditioning. I'm sure there are some people there with air conditioning. But what I'm saying is it's not supposed to get that hot there. There have been predictions that as climate change takes hold, it will cascade. Remember that movie, The Day After Tomorrow, or The Tomorrow After Today, or whatever it was called, where suddenly things start spiraling, and now it's exponential growth. As to there are some predictions, there are some models that say, yeah, that's a possibility. I hope not. It's already too hot here.
Out there's somebody in the water. Steve, it's an emergency. If you spot somebody in the water, you have to call somebody.
Brian, this time of day, people go out there and cool down. I think it's a buoy, though, not a boy.
Okay, good.
So anyway, Barack Obama's
You can say boy. You can say buoy. It's either one.
place is in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Rhode Island, down the coast.
Right. Sure, he couldn't afford that one.
Same ticket, though. I once knew a man from Nantucket.
Yeah, you know what?
That looks
that's
like
a buoy.
Is that a guy?
That's kind of funny that Barack Obama is the man from Nantucket.
I think it's some sort of a buoy. Look, it's
Something
if you
navigational.
look at that, if you look at the big monitor over here, Brian, it does not look like a buoy.
Right. And if we had lifeguards, because nobody wants to be a lifeguard anymore, that person would be saved.
What? No one wants to be a lifeguard anymore?
Listen, if you want to be a lifeguard, you can get paid a lot of money. A lot
Yeah,
of
you
places
can.
are so
They're
desperate, they're
hiring.
going to give people like $1,000 signing bonus, even more if they stick around for the.
Oh, you know what? I would not want to give somebody CPR right now with the COVID's going around. I get it. I do it. But honestly, how many lifeguards actually give CPR in their lifeguarding history? It's not that. People don't drown that frequently.
Whole season.
Right.
No, it's primary.
Let's stop right now. This This is from yesterday. Let's bring this over here. This is from the Twitters. This is Kat Abu. And Kat posted this.
States but nothing changes the bottom line fact. Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker run the dirtiest, most dangerous states in the country with the worst cities. Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, great places, all places that have been destroyed. And on the basis of that record of destruction, they've become convinced they run the country.
Los Angeles has not been destroyed. I'm in Los Angeles currently. Not destroyed. There are some places that I don't go, but the same would be said of Fort Lauderdale. But actually, during the daytime, I'll go anywhere in Los Angeles. It's fine. But yeah, that might be a little bit reactive. By the way, California is just gorgeous. One of our most beautiful states. The most beautiful state, well, there's two options for the most beautiful state. I'll let you guys guess what they are. But the most beautiful state in this country, also the most dangerous in terms of guns.
Day down in Maryland, and Lawrence Jones is live at the Hub City Diner. It's in Hagerstown, Maryland. Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, good morning, family. It's a big day here in Maryland, a big primary race that's going on, and it is the battle between the former President Donald Trump and Larry Hogan. You got Kelly Schultz, who is being backed by the governor here, as well as Cox, who is being supported by the former president. But again, the politics of this is obviously going to be a major issue for the folks here today, but it is the economy, it is inflation.
Oh,
I was just talking.
Oh, I was just looking at another tweet. We're at a diner. Oh, it's diner day, people. This is going to be exciting. I love the diners.
To the owner, prices.
Okay, just get past this part because we'll come back to this. But I actually want to see that. I don't like it when they stand at the diner and they preview everything. I just want to talk to the peoples. Okay, here we go. What's the news of the day here? What about gas prices? We're gonna talk about how gas prices have fallen quicker than at any time in history. The gas prices are off 50% or 50 cents or 10% in just a month. We're gonna talk about that, right? Because that's what we've been talking about for months about how the gas prices are rising so quickly. Oh, it's insane. And now they're coming down. So this is probably the lead story.
Called him a lockdown rhino because he locked everyone down during the shutdown rhino because he shut down everything during the pandemic.
I think he's going to run for president.
And Larry Hogan has been very popular in Maryland. But keep in mind, Maryland has been a Democratic stronghold since, I think, 92. I think
he's Republican, so I'm not sure how Democratic stronghold and Larry Hogan. Okay.
Biden got close to 70%, so it'll be interesting to see what it happens.
So not really a stronghold then.
As Lawrence talks to people, I think one of the things they're going to complain about, the high price of stuff. In particular,
yeah, gas.
In particular, take a look at gas. Today it is at $4.49.
Right.
It
was $5.04, so that's fantastic, right?
See, June 14th, it was $5.01, and then for people.
Well, it was $5.04, but okay. Well, but on that day, it might have been $5.01.
People who are in the shipping business, you're more interested in diesel today. It is still a killer. It's at $5.51 a gallon.
Right, but for everybody else who's not in the shipping business, and I've got to guess that's got to be at least 100 Americans. This is really good news, right? That's what we're looking at.
A year ago, bottom of that column. $3.27.
Okay, they're using 501 as the official record. Fine.
But listen to this. It was $2.54 on Inauguration Day. It's almost $2 more today. The Biden administration.
Yeah, it's up. It's still up 40%, but it's coming down. So the actions, the inactions, according to everybody on Fox, that Biden won't do anything. Suddenly, things are coming down. Oil has plummeted, by the way, way down. Gas prices have only come down about half as much as the oil prices have.
Though is taking credit for the decreasing gas.
And this is fluctuating on a daily basis, but oil's down basically about 20%. Gas is down about 10%. It takes time, or it just won't happen. Unfortunately, I don't see the price of everything falling because gas is coming down. Once prices go up, it's very rare that prices come down unless it's on electronics.
Prices, which is making everyone laugh because they're the reasons for the problem in the first place. It's $2 more today, about $2 more than when President Biden took office. So even though, yes, they've gone down a little bit
Right. Remember at that point, too, vaccines weren't even available to the general public.
over the last
We were still rationing them to old people.
few weeks, it's still not enough. It's like saying, I'm
Of course it's not enough. It's not free gas. That's what we want, right? Socialism?
taking $100 out of your pocket, Steve, and I'm gonna put $50 back in.
Right.
But you're still out of $50.
Right.
Thank you.
And the crazy
Oh, okay. But no, because Steve has to spend that money in order to travel for business or pleasure. See, so he's going to spend the money. He's now spending less money next time. That's good. You're not giving him back $50.
thing is that the President of the United States, you would think his administration would learn from now.
I mean, okay, great. Let's go with that. You give him back $50. He's still out $50, right? And the next time he drives somewhere, he's still going to be out $50. And if it's back in the inauguration day, he's still going to be out $30. Yeah, okay.
Not to take early bows. Remember Afghanistan? They said it's not going to be like Saigon. It was worse. Remember inflation? It's going to
No, Saigon was far worse than Afghanistan, but I wasn't alive, so who knows? I mean, I was.
be transitory. It is worse than transitory. It's at 9%, and they basically look
Well, transitory, anyway.
out of control. And then when it comes to gas prices, as they drop 50 cents, we're all thankful to drop. The number's
Yay.
still horrendous. They start to take a bow. Kate Bedingfield, though, for now, the White House
Right, because the whole thing was like, Trump was right. Gas is going to hit $8 a gallon. It didn't.
communication
6, 7, I see it going even higher. It's going to be $10 a gallon.
director, she's going to be leaving soon, said President Biden's top priority is tackling inflation and reducing prices, and his plan is working. The rise in gas prices last month due to Putin's price hike was met by
No, that's pretty accurate.
wall-to-wall media coverage. The fall in gas prices has not earned the same reception.
That is true.
But why should it? Because
Oh, God, the judges here were early today.
it's 50 cents in the big picture. We're glad it's heading in that direction.
Yes.
But if you looked at the world market
But let's not do big picture.
yesterday, the president who vowed to talk to Saudi Arabia, one day he was going to get the price of oil down, next he was going to ask him to pump more. They're not going to
No, he's said consistently he wasn't going to ask Saudi Arabia to pump more.
do that. They made it clear after he left. And the price for a barrel of oil is over $100. And when the president said yesterday, 2 days ago, that again, the price is going down, but should be going down more if it wasn't for gas station owners. Again, blaming the gas station owners for the
And oil companies. Oil companies is what he was talking about, too.
price of gas. It's idiotic.
Well, the gas station owners
This is idiotic.
were just in a long line of people to blame. He's got a list who to blame today. It was gas station owners. But keep in mind, gas prices had gone up over $1 across the country before Vladimir Putin invaded Ukraine.
Right.
And then what do we immediately
And then it was $2, and then it was $2.50, right?
hear? Well, ever since the buildup of the Russians along the Ukrainian border, the gas has gone through the roof.
Right.
Well, now it is finally going down a little bit, and they're taking credit for it. And
Well, 10%. That's not a little bit. That's a huge chunk for people. That's an extra $25 in the average consumer's pocket every month.
we'll explain on the other side of what's really driving the prices down a little bit. But nonetheless, it was Putin's fault. It was
50 cents a gallon. Remember, oh, God, we need a gas holiday. We need a gas tax holiday. Oh, please, please. And then Biden said, let's do a gas tax holiday. Congress hasn't done a damn thing. And then, oh, gas tax, that's only 18 cents. It's only temporary. That's not going to do anything. Idiots.
Putin's fault. It was Putin's fault. But suddenly, Joe Biden to the rescue. Jared Bernstein, an economic advisor for the president, was asked about the double standard yesterday by a member of the White House press corps. Listen.
Having it both ways, Jared, because when the gas prices go up, it's got nothing to do with the president. When we see some decline, you want him to get the credit.
Look, I think that
It's actually accurate. The president doesn't control the price of gas.
there's no both way.
They can do something, like releasing 1 million barrels a day from the strategic energy reserves. That actually affects the market because it goes into the market as a whole. They sell it to the highest bidder, and that goes into the energy market, which is worldwide.
Thinking here at all. The president has reacted from the beginning, talking about how this was such an important priority. He then presided over the largest.
I think that this is edited because he keeps swiping to the right, and I don't think people do that naturally.
Historical release of barrels of oil from the strategic reserve,
That's what I said.
180 million barrels. Then he talked to global partners to get them to kick in another 60 million. So
it was Putin's fault. When they're coming down, he gets the credit.
Yeah, I very much disagree with that framing. I think what's happening here is a president who is working tirelessly to address.
It's always tirelessly, and it's such bullshit. Both sides do it.
The largest constraint, probably the toughest constraint facing American households right now.
So what they're doing is the White House says, you know, the president released 1 million barrels a day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. He did that 2 months ago. It has only been recently that the price has gone down. And
yeah, because there's a 6-week delay with the price of gas. That's how it works. Unless barrels of oil go up, and then immediately at the pump they raise the prices. Why? Because they're trying to make profit. That's what the oil companies are there for. That's their job, to make profit for the shareholders.
Why has the price gone down? It's very simple. It's supply and demand. Gas is...
What? Why didn't I ever say that this is all supply and demand? What's wrong with me?
So expensive, you're driving less. You're deciding when you...
No, we're not driving less, actually.
...should and should not drive. Because keep in mind, the United States has not increased production, not at all, not to,
no, that's not
a measurable amount.
That is not, no, they measure it every single day. The only time in history that U.S. oil production has been higher than it is right now is in late 2019, right before the pandemic. That's the only time. Keep in mind that what we're producing right now is higher. Now, this is as of June, is higher than in 40 of Trump's 48 months in office. 82% of the time during Trump's regime, his administration produced less oil than we're producing right now.
Down because you are afraid that it's going to cost you too much. So in other words, they're taking a bow for making the gas so expensive you're not willing to drive.
Right. It's like the restaurant owner when prices were going up for meat. Remember the guy came on and he said, I'm telling everyone we're not serving brisket. We're going to not serve brisket anymore. We're 86ing brisket because if we do that, then the prices will go down because they were so high. Virginia's Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, she was speaking at the Christians United for Israel Summit in Virginia. There are 10 million members. It's the largest Christian organization in support of Israel in our country. And she said that the president needs to stop gaslighting.
Gaslighting
Let
gas.
me tell you something.
Gaslighting gas prices. Oh, it's Winsome Sears. This is the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. She's a Republican. I bet she's going to be very pro-Biden at this point. Let's see. AAA predicts 47.9 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home. That's 95% of what travel was in 2019. And way up over last year. So the whole, oh no, gas is... it's 13.8% higher than last year, according to the TSA.
Every time
that's airline travel, of course.
That we go to the grocery store, we're going to the polls. Every time we buy that bread and it's expensive because of inflation, that's a poll. Every time. Let me tell you something. Every time that we go to the grocery store, we're going to the polls. Every time
that's not true.
We buy that bread and it's expensive.
I thought you said rent. It's bread. When bread's expensive, we're going to the polls. Every time we buy peanut butter, we're going to the...
Because of inflation, that's a poll.
Every time we buy cream for our toe fungus, we're going to the poll.
Every time we fill our tanks with gas and it's expensive, that's a poll. I don't think we're blaming.
Okay, well then the polls are overwhelmingly in favor of Biden because people are spending. Consumer confidence is down, but consumer spending is way up.
Putin for that. We are blaming the person who sits in the White House because he said before he was elected that he was going to get rid of fossil fuels. It is your policies that have gotten us here.
There's no actual policy that has affected how the gas companies are doing business.
Inflation is not temporary, as you finally acknowledge.
transitory.
And stop gaslighting us. We know the truth. We're paying for it every day.
Smart. The other thing you would like to add, too, is the president is draining our strategic oil reserve. It doesn't take courage to do that. That is a risk to do that. And it goes into the global market, not into our own gas stations.
Well, we're part of the global market.
And the oil and gas company said, here are the things to do, Mr. President, if you want to increase oil production here. He's done none of it. In fact, look out for this.
Well, no, he opened up leases on federal land. There's over 9,000 leases that are ready to be drilled right now.
The president...
We had, remember, talking about earlier, there was more oil production at the end of 2019 than there is right now. That's on the oil companies. Nothing changed. They could be drilling more.
Will declare a climate emergency and start with a series of executive orders that will do nothing but hurt the price of oil and gas.
Good. We want to hurt the price of oil.
Windmills and solar panels.
Wind turbines, they're not mills,
are not going to make it easier or more affordable for you to drive. And between...
They absolutely will.
60 and 70% of you...
They provide more energy into the grid.
Who live paycheck to paycheck in this country, you're feeling all of...
What about those of us who don't get a paycheck?
This. That will not help. That's called tone deafness. That's called agenda driven. That's called Joe Manchin will stop the agenda, but will not stop the president from moving forward anyway.
There are three people that are close to the president, what Brian's talking about, that have said they don't want their names listed, but they did speak to the press, and they said that he's considering declaring a national climate emergency so that he can basically redirect funds for renewable energy.
Right, funds he should not have.
Something that is still an emergency, but people aren't talking about it, but we're going to mention it.
So angry. I don't know why conservatives hate electric cars so much. But the truth of the matter is, most of the top growing states for electric cars are Republican. Wyoming, 80% Republican. Like the number one, number two, number three place. Wyoming, Montana, I forget which one is number one, which one is... But those are where electric car use is growing the most. Because those are where people have great distances to cover. When you live 30 miles from the nearest grocery store, you burn a lot of gas. When you live 10 miles from your kid's school, you burn a lot of gas. And so people are buying electric vehicles in those areas.
Today, you know, the baby formula crisis,
yes.
which...
And these are states, by the way, without compliance. California, which has all these compliance laws that if you want to sell cars here, Toyota, you're going to have an average miles per gallon of 35 or 37 or 28, whatever it happens to be. And so car companies put cars in California that are available nowhere else, except maybe New Jersey, a couple of other states, about 5 states that... Anyway, so they sell these cars, sometimes even as a loss, in order to sell their SUVs and make big old profits. There's no mandates in Wyoming. There's no mandates in Arizona. There's no et cetera, et cetera. Those are the states where things are growing the fastest. In California, California's only number 10.
Started a couple of
out of, I don't know how many states we have. There's way too many states. 100, 200, doesn't matter.
months ago. It is actually worse now than it was 2 months ago, despite Joe Biden and the administration flying in.
How's everybody doing, by the way? How's everybody doing today? I don't know if anyone's watching. Probably not. Hold on just a second, because I just got a message. Here, you guys listen to this.
Millions of bottles of formula. A research firm, IRI, says that there's about a 30% out of stock measurement across the country. About 30% over the last couple of weeks. That is 56% higher than when the shortage actually...
Right, supply and demand. Remember what you were saying earlier? You're now reinforcing that notion.
Started. So the big question is, why hasn't it gotten any better? I mean,
no, it has gotten better.
All eyes have been on America's babies, and they can't get formula.
Oh, you're talking about formula. Yeah, I don't know the figures on that.
Because the administration every once in a while has a photo up. Hey, look, another plane landed. It's not working. They've got to up the supply. It's all supply and demand.
It should be just about to the point where Abbott is getting formula back into the system now. That's an interesting. It probably a week or two from now, things will get better.
And whether it's the gas or anything else, because ultimately it impacts you every time you pull out your wallet or your pocketbook and you buy something.
Still ahead, Texas Governor Greg Abbott fires back after Democrats claim he's tricking illegal immigrants into going to Washington, D.C. Really? Why? He says the president is more likely to deal with the crisis if it's in his own backyard.
Plus,
he's always in Delaware, though, remember? Let's go find the people at the diner. I always enjoy the people at the diner. Oh, here's actual news. Let's see what's going on in actual news. Let's see what that is.
All, including a 12-year-old girl. Dickens
in seconds
stopped a shoot.
Here we go. It's my favorite song in the world.
We are back with some headlines. The mayor of Greenwood, Indiana, is defending the lawfully armed man who stopped a shooter in a mall on Sunday. His remarks come after some gun control advocates say that man should not be hailed for his quick thinking.
This young man, Greenwood's good Samaritan, acted within seconds, stopping the shooter and saving countless lives.
Right, so what we need is more of him and fewer of the police that were in the building in Uvalde who did nothing. Even though 400 police officers, 387, or close to it anyway, from the preliminary report. They keep stressing during the news conference. It's not the full report, it's just preliminary. Here's the problem. It keeps being presented as systemic failures. No, it was human failure. Over and over and over. And calling it systemic is like, what are you going to do? They didn't have the right policies in place. No, the school was hardened. They had their own police force. It should have worked better. The doors had locks on them. But unfortunately, when you throw humans into the mix, things fall apart. That's how it works. Always.
Police say Elijah Dickens stopped the shooter after 3 people were killed and several others wounded in the Greenwood Park Mall, including a 12-year-old girl. Dickens was at the mall with his girlfriend at the time when he fired 10 rounds at the shooter, killing him. Tesla CEO Elon Musk plans to file a countersuit against Twitter in an attempt to scrap his $44 billion buyout. That, according to a New York Post source.
I have difficulty believing that Elon was ever going to buy Twitter. He just messes around with things.
Close to the case, Musk's
I may end up having to buy a Tesla. More on that later.
Lawyers reportedly,
speaking of morons,
aiming to get more information about the platform's bot accounts in court. The legal battle could also potentially bring down the company's stock, giving Musk more leverage to renegotiate a new sale price. One Kentucky swimmer is sounding off after the University of Pennsylvania nominates Leah Thomas for the NCAA Woman of the Year. Riley Gaines calling this move.
Wow. That's the trans person who swims as a woman, was born a biological male. So has been nominated as the female swimmer of the year. That's going to be a topic on many a right-wing show.
A slap in the face.
It's a mockery. That's what this whole thing has turned into. Something we've, as female athletes, dedicated our whole lives to. It's a punch in the gut. It's a slap to the face, and it's a total regression of what Title IX stands for.
Thomas became the first transgender.
Those are some excellent points.
Woman to win in a NCAA Division I national champion.
Oh, okay. So that's good. Fox News is now calling her a woman. That's progress. But there are still questions about this whole deal.
In any sport after winning the women's 500-yard free.
It's a slap to the face, and it's a total regression of what Title IX stands for.
Thomas became the first transgender woman to win in a NCAA Division I national championship in any sport after winning the.
Wow, that is shocking. That is absolutely shocking that they're calling swimming a sport. Come on, it's a leisure time activity. Throw some beach balls in the pool, have some fun.
Women's 500-yard free.
You guys don't even have a ball. The only sport in water is water polo, because you got a ball and a net. I used to be a swimmer.
Style event. You're going to want to see this video. Talk about a wedding crash. A giant wave nearly washes away an entire wedding party in Hawaii. Check this out. The guests and happy couple can be seen making a run for it as the wave grows bigger.
Well, it didn't almost wipe them out. It didn't wipe out the entire wedding party.
The water then comes crashing over the seawall, knocking down the buffet and decorations.
That is a tragedy.
Thankfully, the newlyweds were able to save their cake, and the storm passed pretty quickly.
Where's the cake?
Those are your headlines, guys. How about that?
Where was that, Marcy? What island was that on?
Wow. Well, that's the problem with a destination wedding.
Hold on,
Crashing
over
the seawall, knocking down the buffet and decorations.
I do not recognize that seawall, so I can't tell you.
Thankfully, the newlyweds were able to save their cake, and the storm
and eat it too.
Storm passed pretty quickly. Those are your headlines, guys. How about that?
Wow.
Well, that's about that. Let's start a diner. Take me to a diner. Where is Lawrence and the diner? There's a British guy. Royalty. Don't care. Don't care. Okay, yeah, we're out of news in the United States, so we're going to talk about the royalty. What about the diner? Come on, people. Inflation. Going to show some products. The products are always like organic milk for $9. It's lactose-free milk. It's been processed. It's fat-free. Oh, here we go. Are you actually going to talk to somebody? You're not going to talk to somebody. Hold on.
Just about 22 minutes.
Okay.
For the people. We talk to them next. Coming up on Fox and Friends.
Oh, God. Okay. So he's going to talk to them next. Here we go. People. People in the diner. Hold on. I hope there's no background music. We can't watch it if there is. Here we go. American people. People who wake up early and go to a diner during the COVIDs. Let's hear what they have to say.
Thank you, family. Before I get to the primary that's facing the country right now, I want to talk about the big issues. We got Mike and Debbie here. Mike, what do you think is the #1 issue facing the country?
Inflation, for sure.
And where are you seeing it impacted? You were telling me about when you go into the grocery
store, gas, clothes, bills. When I'm retired and we retired to get a fixed income and had to fix it.
Debbie, you say that education is a major issue, especially all the measures that took place during the pandemic.
Oh yes. A lot of our children are way behind from the pandemic, from wearing the masks, from just socializing with their peers. It's made a big difference.
And who did you guys decide to...
Actually, so there's been a couple of studies that I've seen, and no, the students are... Most of them are just fine.
...go with for this primary?
Dan Cox.
Dan Cox, why?
As governor. His conservative views right now, our governor says he's conservative, not so much. So we're looking for a change.
All right, that's what the people are saying. Let's keep moving. I want y'all to meet another friend of mine. We're going to talk to Mark. Mark, you were telling me that you travel for work, and it's $80 per day.
A day for me to travel. It's crazy.
So I'm assuming the #1 issue for you is gas prices.
Absolutely. That and just inflation in general. You can't get away from it. It's either the gas or it's your heating bill, or it's just the two of us when we go to the grocery store, and the prices are crazy. Like, you can't catch your breath.
What do you think?
You can't get what?
Think is driving this? Is the president responsible, the progressive policies? You tell me.
It's the policies. I don't know that the president drives much of anything these days, but
yeah, see, the president doesn't drive much of anything these days.
But he seems like a slave to the people who have these policies, and the policies are just crushing.
It's got nothing to do with the current policies.
Last thing I wanted to ask you.
It's supply and demand, as was stated earlier on this very program.
Who are you going to vote for in this governor?
I don't know that anyone's even still watching. You guys are being very quiet. Hi, everybody. Okay. Oh, you know what? It stopped working. Yeah, no, the chat is not going through. That's what's going on. You guys are still chatting, so enjoy your chat on YouTube. I'll try and check it from time to time. I used to be able to bring it up. Hold on a second, see if I can bring it up and lay it over. Give me just a second here. What about this? Give me a sec. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Let's do this. I can move this here. I can move this here. And let's see, is that where we are? I can come down a little bit. And if Trump were in office right now, that's where you guys are. Okay, and I'll make it bigger, and I'll drag it over. And so if you want to chat, go on the YouTubes, because the YouTube chat seems to be working right now. So, there we go. Good enough. If you're just joining us, hi. There's the chat room. I thought you guys had all, checked out 20 minutes ago. It just stopped working. Stephanie said, KevinlyFather, the side check died. See if he sees this. I did. Thank you for that.
Race?
We're going to vote for Schultz.
And you said the reason why you're going for Schultz is because although you support the former president, you say all politics is local.
At the end of the day, all politics is local. We just feel a connection with Schultz.
All right, thank you so much. The last person I want you to talk to, Joe, you served almost 30 years in the Navy. Thank you for your service. You say the president is doing a poor job.
I was only in the Navy 4 years, but I worked in the Department of Defense in the Army. And he's done a poor job ever since he opened his mouth. So, and that might be my...
Okay, that's solid evidence right there.
Girlfriend, but I'm going to let her call me.
All right, brother.
I lost my wife, now I got a girlfriend.
Well, condolences to you, brother. We thank you for your service to the country.
He's one guy that, I tell you, I'd like to put him in the middle of the ocean in a rowboat, spin him around the ring, and let him take some memory pills.
Okay. Put him in a rowboat in the middle of the ocean, spin him around, and let him take so he gets lost in the middle of the. I mean, if he's in the middle of the ocean in a rowboat, he's dead, right? So, but then he gets to take some memory pills. Are there memory pills? This guy been watching Limitless?
Thank you so much. Hey, he's honest.
I still want a picture with her.
You got it, brother.
He still wants a picture with her. His girlfriend?
I'll send it back to you guys in New York.
Okay, well let's go find some more of these diners. I like the diners. It's my favorite part. That was him again. Is he gonna? No, he's not gonna talk to anybody though. He's just gonna stand there. Yeah, they don't. I don't like when Lawrence does the diners because he doesn't seem to talk to many people. Let's go a little bit forward here and see if we can get more Lawrence in here. Waiting. Okay, diners, actual diners. Here we go. Boop. The primaries.
This place is Andrew. Andrew, thank you so much for inviting us. All the folks are having a great time. What is it like being a business owner?
Okay, here's the owner of the restaurant. Good for him.
During this climate, you haven't raised your prices, but we know inflation is hitting you, right?
Yes, it does. Actually, all the prices went up. All the food prices went up. Labors went up. Everything went up. Even water, electric, gas, everything. But, you know, you got to stay tight until we go through this.
Why didn't you adjust your prices even though the cost to make the food was going up?
Okay. This is basically the typical diners. So 70% of our guests, it's like senior citizen. And you cannot keep the prices on them. Like, you cannot keep raising the prices on them. That will hurt them so bad, which, I mean, they already hurt because they didn't get that much on income. So, and if you're looking around, gas, very high. You go to the grocery store, prices way high, too high, rent is high, everything is high. So, I mean, we got to keep it that way for now.
And Andrew, you said...
I love this guy. I love Andrew. Next time I'm in Maryland, I'm going to wonder, why am I in Maryland?
Life was different back in the last administration.
Way different. Life is way different now.
When everything was locked down and you had to close and you couldn't do any business because of the lockdowns, that was different. Because now you're open and people are spending money and you're employing people and money is going into your pocket. So that's very, very different.
Before the pandemic and after the pandemic, it's way different.
Andrew.
Well, yes. Life before the pandemic and life now are very different. That is correct. The judges agree with that too.
Thank you so much for inviting us in, brother. You got it, brother. I want to take y'all to a table that has breakfast every single week. Dean, you said you can solve a lot of these problems right here. And you say inflation is the #1 issue.
Yes. I have to say that we have a president that doesn't know how to deal with it. And we need somebody to deal with it.
Okay, and you said you could solve these problems. So how do you deal with inflation, sir?
And the question is, are the voters smart enough to get there?
The answer is no.
And I'm a retiree, and I'm telling you, it's hurting.
Yes, we got that. So what are the solutions?
And everything. And, you know, when it costs me $25, $30 to mow my grass every week.
What?
And that's just in gas.
What?
You know, it's
what the heck? Is he mowing it with an SUV?
It's ridiculous. So we're hoping that the voter wakes up.
Gil, is Dean right on this?
As far as I know, Dean is on point as far as the gas prices go. If my wife was not working from home, she probably would be spending over $150 a week just to commute, but thank God she's working from home.
Yeah, she's working from home. Good.
And as far as the governor go, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right. What do you want to see?
As far as the governor goes? Is that what he said?
From the President of the United States right now?
I really would like to see inflation come down, the prices of food come down, the prices of gas come down. It was less than a year ago, I would spend like $140 to $160 a week to feed my family. Now I'm spending anywhere from $200 to $250 a week.
Yeah, it's tough.
To feed my family, and that's ridiculous. And this is just for a family of 3, and this does not include like crab meat and shrimp and everything. This is just the basics.
Just the basics.
Just the basics.
You gentlemen have breakfast every week, and y'all talk about the issues that's going on. I think this is the heartbeat of America right here. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna send it back to you guys in New York.
Okay. Any more diners? Anybody? Any interesting guests we can? Again, he's back at the diner here. I don't know if you guys can see him that small. He's back at the diner, but he's not going to talk to anybody. He's just going to talk about being at the diner. Here we go. Here's what's going on in the White House with the son of the guy who's on the show right now.
It's not a morning poll.
Right. We'll see.
Meanwhile, the White House is taking a victory lap as the price of gas.
Did they just talk about a morning poll?
Gas slides back from its all-time high, but not by that much.
Right. We have a lot of shots of Joe Biden looking down depressed.
Every time they mention the gas price, it's not that big. It's not. Look at the overtime graph. Now in 1921, gas was 2 cents a gallon.
Administration hoping you forgot that Biden blamed Putin when prices were their highest.
Peter Ducey's live at the White House with more. I love that they're celebrating, Peter. I mean, the prices are still. It's very expensive.
Right, but it's less.
Fill up your car still.
That's good. It was going up and up and up and up, and now it's starting to come down. That's good. That should be celebrated.
They've gone on a little, but not enough.
Yeah, it's still more than $2 a gallon more than when President Biden took office. And aides around here never said the president was going to the Middle East just to ask Gulf countries to drill more, but we know it was on the agenda, and we also know the president came back home without any firm commitments from anybody over there to drill more. And that's okay, according to the communications director, who says about gas prices in a memo, the drop is one of the fastest declines in gas prices in over a decade. In fact, just this Sunday, we witnessed the largest single-day decline in national gas prices since 2008. But again, the average for a gallon is still $2 above when this president took.
I know, but that's also what they're saying is accurate, and that's good, right? No, it's still expensive. Gas is always expensive.
$4.49 for a gallon of regular, $5.51 for a gallon of diesel, which is part of why shipping is so expensive right now. And it's all weighing the president down. CNN now has him at a paltry 38% approval rating. 68% are saying he's not paying attention to the most pressing problems, and top aides are dismissing the idea that there's a double standard that when prices go up, it's Putin's fault, out of Biden's hands. But when prices go down, Biden deserves all the credit.
I very much disagree with that framing. I think what's happening here is a president who is working tirelessly to address the largest constraint, probably the toughest constraint facing American households right now, the budget.
It's a good point from Matt Random. When COVID numbers come down by the teensiest bit from record highs, they declare the pandemic over. But prices, no big deal.
Budgetary impacts of these elevated prices, and we're showing you here today some real results, partially that partially derive from concrete efforts he's taken.
That partially derive from concrete effort that's accurate. He doesn't say that he somehow, Joe Biden has fixed gas.
What does the president have to say about all this? Good question. No public events on the schedule yesterday. No public events on the schedule today. Back to you.
Right.
Hey, Peter.
Remember, Trump went a couple of months after the election without any public events.
One of the things Jared Bernstein said yesterday when you were in the briefing room was one of the reasons the prices have come down was because Joe Biden released a million barrels of oil.
Oh, no. COVID is rampant, according to the dog mother. COVID is rampant in Connecticut. My mother's retirement community is locked down again. Yeah, here in LA County, they're thinking of instituting a mask policy again at the end of the month, which is good.
A day.
People keep getting the COVIDs.
From the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, but he did that 2 months ago. And only recently has the price started coming down.
Well, a month. It took a month for the price to start coming down, and that's part of the increased supply in the chain. And that is the Strategic Oil Reserve.
Largely because supply and demand. We haven't increased the supply here in the United States. We haven't punched a hole in the earth for more oil.
And something else he took a lot of questions about today is actually a big anniversary. It's been exactly 1 year since President Biden said that rising prices, inflation, was going to be temporary. And Jared Bernstein was saying, well, temporary, transitory. I think we're still clean here because people just don't understand what the word transitory actually means. They had different ideas about what transitory means, but that was...
Yeah, it just means, transitory means temporary, but there's no timeline to it.
July 19th, 2021, and here we are, 2022, and inflation is much higher, 9.1%.
Peter, Brian had a list of some of the things that he was saying would be different. Just be patient, and that was one of them. You said inflation, it's just transitory. What were some of the others?
Afghanistan was not going to be like Saigon. You're right, it was worse. Then we also thought that he was going to be able to convince the Saudis to pump more oil. That did.
No, he never said he was going to do that.
Really
that was not what it was. It was you guys saying, "Oh, he's going over there to beg Saudi Arabia to pump more oil," and no, that was never on the agenda.
Border is closed, but we have record numbers.
And don't forget, another classic of that genre would be when he said that we declared independence from COVID more than a year ago.
Good one. Yeah, we could have cookouts in July.
Right.
And we do.
If you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID.
Yeah, Peter,
Well, at that point, that was true, yeah. And the trouble is not everybody got the vaccine around the world, and so COVID has been allowed to mutate, as well as spread to people who are immunocompromised. And when somebody with immunocompromise gets COVID, COVID can stay in their body. There's one lady almost 500 days with COVID in her body. Got it at the beginning, and it just stuck around and stuck around and stuck around, and can mutate in multiple forms. If somebody catches one of those, we end up with something like a BA5 that apparently is highly contagious and vaccine evasive in terms of contraction, but still the vaccine's going to protect you in terms of hospitalization 17 times as protective, death 15 times as protective. So get yourself vaccinated and boosted.
It seems like the advice he's taken of the advisors has not been very wise, ultimately, given the very high level of inflation and everything else. Anybody talking about how maybe it's time for new advisors when it comes to the economy?
When it comes to the economy, we have not heard a lot of that, but we know that President Biden has said he thinks he's getting a lot done. He just is having a hard time communicating that, and we know that by the end of this month, the communications director is going to leave, and they will have an opening there for somebody to come in and try to message things a little bit differently.
Okay, good luck to him. Thank you, Peter.
Diner.
Thanks, Peter.
And what about Jill Biden coming out in a small fundraiser and saying...
We got a bidder in here, Mike.
In Maryland. So what issues are the most important to voters, I asked?
Let's talk to Lawrence Jones. He's live at the Hub City Diner in Hagerstown, Maryland. Hey, Lawrence.
Hey, good morning, family. We've been having a great time out here in Maryland. We got a bidder in here, Michael. Thank you for your service. We've been talking about some of the issues facing the country. What do you think is most important?
The lack of common sense being used in the...
I was going to say taking away a medical freedom that women have enjoyed in this country for 50 years now, which is the first time in history. I would love him to start talking about Roe v. Wade. But yeah, no, 85-year-old U.S. Army veteran is not going to do that.
the political arena. I think I represent.
Yeah, Mexico just contributed $1.5 billion to try and stop illegal migration over the U.S. border. Biden got Mexico to pay to stop illegal immigration. No mention of it. Yeah, but it's too little, too late, is what they would say.
I'm a good cross-section of what Americana is and what it represents.
That is not what Americana is.
I'm a Christian man. I am a veteran. I'm a retiree.
None of that is Americana.
I come from a multiracial family.
None of that is Americana.
I have a grandson who's gay. I love him to death. I'm
not Americana.
Very proud of him. So we represent a lot of areas.
I have that shirt, by the way.
In the population of the United States. But we all come together with the same issues that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. The economy, number one. People have to set aside funds for one thing versus another thing. That might be medication, that might be household goods, that might be transportation, that might be health issues, okay? What concerns me is I have friends who sit on both sides of the aisle here locally. And it seems like all of them apply good common sense in their decisions. But what troubles me is when they get to the federal level, somewhere along the line, somebody starts to spoon feed them samples of the Kool-Aid that's manufactured in Washington, D.C. And somewhere along the line, they lose the ability to use that common sense that God gave them.
Yeah.
Set aside your personal agendas. Let's not argue what's right and wrong. Let's apply the application of common sense and come together.
Michael, I think
solve the problem.
That's a great message for the
yeah, why doesn't everyone just do that?
Country. Common sense. Common sense. I don't think I could have said it better. I want to go to Julie because you were taking forever and you're not really saying anything. But thanks for the Americana. A lot of kitchen there. Student. Yes. You're about to get married. Congratulations to you.
Yay.
But money is tight.
I don't get it. She's not retired. Why are we talking to her? What is going on?
You said if you didn't have your father to have your back, you wouldn't be able to make it. And the same for your fiance who's a correctional officer.
Yes, yeah. The loans is ridiculous. It's about $30,000 for just a semester. And
the loans is ridiculous. Why are you going to college? Like, it's lovely. She's on TV. She's nervous. We make mistakes on TV.
And they tell you that you can only work about 10 hours a week. So I can't live off of that. If I didn't have my dad, I don't
Who told her she can only work 10 hours a week? What? Who said? Who are they?
even know where I would be. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. Young people relying on their parents. This has been happening for a long time. That's America, baby.
Ridiculous with the cost that you have to pay, and everybody is supposed to have this equal opportunity for education. Well, how are you supposed to do that when you're so in debt? And
well, scholarships.
All these professions are
and community colleges
now requiring like doctorates. It's ridiculous.
What professions are requiring doctorates?
So true. Thank you so much. And lastly, what is the #1 issue for?
Hey, there are professions that require doctorates, like doctor. But most professions do not require it at all.
You, ma'am?
I would say inflation. It is terrible and something needs to be done. It's affecting a lot of people. And unfortunately, if we don't do something about it soon, I think that a lot of people are going to be suffering even more.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. And as you can see, the #1 issue is the economy. We can talk about all the other issues, and they no doubt matter, but it's people's pocketbooks, and they're blaming the President of the United States and the leftist agenda that's in Washington.
The leftist agenda. Yeah, it's supply and demand, kids. Speaking of supply and demand, now I am in short supply because I've got to get things done. I'm going to go to clinic today, but it's a tennis clinic, and it's free for me. So I'm going to go have some fun. Guys, we'll see you, I don't know, maybe later in the day. Definitely Thursday we'll cover the impeachment hearings, and by that I mean the January 6 hearings, which will result in a big fat nothing. Remember, none of it means anything. The DOJ can arrest people. Congress can't. but it's fun to watch. So we'll watch that together later. Until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and most importantly, get a doctorate.